Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today's video was actually inspired by some changes in the weather that we have had here in Oregon over the course of the last several weeks. I feel like we have really started turning the corner and are definitely heading into warmer spring weather. So whenever that happens, I definitely find myself gravitating towards different fragrances in my perfume collection. During the fall and the winter, I really love deep, heavy, slightly more oppressive fragrances. It just kind of goes, you know, with the fall and winter vibe. I do tend to be pretty seasonal when it comes to my personal fragrance. I will definitely make exceptions. I'm not quite as strict with my personal fragrance as I am with my home fragrance tastes during the different seasons, but I definitely have a specific category that I really like to dig in during the spring, and it's definitely the florals. The lighter, slightly more maybe romantic florals. So in today's video, I want to share 6 perfumes from my collection that I think would be wonderful springtime perfume suggestions. You might already have some of these in your collection. Maybe you forgot about it. But I would definitely encourage you, if you have any of these scents, to grab them and really start wearing them right now, because I think they are a perfect option for the spring. Or maybe you are looking for a new suggestion for a spring perfume, something to kind of change up your personal fragrance wardrobe. So I think these are all going to be wonderful suggestions that are not only going to be fantastic, honestly, for the spring, but if you enjoy florals throughout the summer as well, I think you're really going to like these. Several of them do have a nice kind of fruity component to them that I think would also lend them, like I said, to being great options during the summer as well. So if you happen to be in the market, maybe you can find a suggestion in this video, or better yet, maybe you already have this perfume in your collection and this inspires you to reach for it and start wearing it, because you shouldn't be saving your perfumes for special occasions. Listen, I used to be that person. I would buy a fragrance and would absolutely fall in love with it and think, oh, today's not a special enough of a day to wear this. But listen, every day that you are alive is a special day. If you have a personal fragrance that you absolutely adore, wear it, enjoy it. There's no reason to save things for a special occasion. You're alive, that's a special occasion. So anyway, you guys, I'll go ahead and link my suggestions in the description box down below if you'd like to purchase any of these fragrances yourself, read up a little bit more about the scents, or check out other people's reviews. They will all be linked in the description box right below this video here. All right, the first fragrance that I want to mention is Floral Street Sweet Almond Blossom. Not only is this a beautiful fragrance, but there's also some absolutely stunning artwork on this particular bottle. This actually features the Vincent van Gogh painting in Almond Blossom. So they have a partnership with, Floral Street had a partnership with the Vincent van Gogh Museum in the Netherlands to be able to use this artwork on the bottle. But isn't that stunning? You can also obviously see it through the front of the bottle here. So this particular floral is a slightly heavier, maybe more date night type of floral for the spring. I have 2 fragrances that I think are going to be great date night fragrances, and then the other ones I think are maybe a little bit more suited towards daytime wear. But this one here is one that I have actually also probably recommended during the fall and winter. There's just something really special about this particular floral. It has a lot of depth to it. There is some tonka bean and sandalwood in here, and I think this particular tonka bean and sandalwood are just heavenly, and they add, like I said, so much depth and sophistication to the fragrance. It definitely falls in that like fancy lady perfume category, at least in my world. So whenever I wear this, I just feel so much more sophisticated. The fragrance notes for this one are pomelo, passion fruit, apple blossom, that's your floral component here, vanilla, sandalwood, tonka bean, and then also green matcha tea. This is just a complete stunner, you guys. If you have never ever sought this fragrance out, find it at a department store, hunt it down wherever you need to if you have to smell it in person first. It is heavenly. It's one of those where I will immediately repurchase this after I finish it. Floral Street, I think, has a number of really beautiful fragrances. They also have a lovely vanilla that I think is absolutely worth checking out as well. I think it's the Wild Vanilla Orchid or Wild Orchid Vanilla. I'll put the name of it here, but yeah, that's a great one as well. But I think for the spring leading into the summer, this is one of those fragrances that I would highly recommend checking out. It's just really, really beautiful. So love that one. The next suggestion that I have, just kind of staying in that like date night category, I'm going to suggest the Dossier Woody Freesia. This is actually a dupe for Armani C. Again, we have a beautiful floral here, but it is a slightly heavier floral. And so I think because of that, I would definitely put it into more of the date night category versus just like an everyday type of fragrance. So the fragrance notes for this one are actually listed on the front, so I'm just gonna read them off the front of the bottle here. I have had the Armani C perfume in the past. I was gifted that by my husband several years ago. I actually just recently, last year, finished that bottle of Armani C, and it was fantastic because when I went to go recycle the bottle, even though I can't repurchase Armani C because they're not cruelty free, I already had a wonderful dupe in my collection, and it's this Woody Freesia. This is a dupe for Armani C, and I think it is spot on, you guys. So the fragrance notes on this one, this has a few floral notes that I think are just in perfect, like, perfect concentrations in this particular fragrance. So freesia, blackcurrant, and strawberry, rose, jasmine, and peach, and then patchouli, vanilla, blonde woods, and musk at the base. Oh, has again a lot of depth to it. The patchouli that's in here is not super earthy. It's not that dirty hippie patchouli. It is a way more perfumey take on patchouli. I think it's really beautiful. I love it. I know patchouli scares a lot of people off. Please don't be scared of it in here. It is absolutely stunning. But the freesia, the rose, and the jasmine in here are absolutely perfect. I think I actually smell the jasmine and freesia much more than the rose. And typically it's the rose that comes through a little bit more aggressively. But I think in this fragrance, the rose plays a little bit more of a backseat to those other notes. And it just is, I'm telling you guys, this is another one of those fancy lady fragrances that I love to wear when Craig and I go out on a date night together. It's absolutely stunning. I'm actually not wearing any perfume yet today, so I've decided to wear this one. I just absolutely adore this one. I cannot get enough of it, and it is quite potent. I really think I applied way too much there, but yeah. There's also a really nice sweetness to this one. I think the sweetness is definitely coming from the fruit notes in here. That blackcurrant, the strawberry, and the peach, I think, are what is giving this particular scent that perfect sweetness without going cloying or taking away from the floral notes. It's a stunner, you guys. I would definitely recommend it. The next fragrance that I want to mention is Skylar Pink Canyon. This particular fragrance here I have had in my collection for a little while, and I haven't reached for it super frequently up until recently. I don't know what inspired me to grab this one. But we had one particular day here where it was, in my car, it actually said it was like 71 degrees. It was wildly warm for a February day here in Oregon, but I was wearing this fragrance on that day, and I think it definitely is a wonderful springtime option. I think this is a great daytime option for the spring. Now, what makes Pink Canyon a little bit interesting is that it does have cedar in it, which again adds a little bit of depth to the fragrance. But it still remains really light and airy to my nose because of 3 specific floral notes that are in this one. So let's go ahead and dig through the scents here, or the fragrance notes, I guess I should say. So Pink Canyon is a combination of lemon, grapefruit, and sage. Magnolia, lily of the valley, and tiare flowers. So we've got almost a little bit of a tropical floral component in this one. You also have some amber, which again adds beautiful depth to this fragrance. There is pink salt in here, cedar, and musk. Again, a little bit more depth to this particular floral, but still light enough for a great daytime option. If you prefer your florals to be just a little bit heavier, to have a little bit of a maybe musky vibe to them, if you prefer your florals to not be overly sweet, this is the springtime fragrance for you. This one's really pretty, and I gotta tell you, I kind of regret not really reaching for this one much last year. It's gonna see a lot more rotation in my routine for this spring for sure. So you'll be seeing more of this one in my weekly beauty chit chat. So anyway, love that Pink Canyon. If you have never sought it out, definitely worth picking up. My next suggestion is a fragrance that I know I have already recommended multiple times here on my channel. It's the Ariana Grande Maud Blush fragrance. I absolutely adore this one, and I think it has some really good mass appeal to it when it comes to florals. As long as you are okay with a sweeter take on floral, this one is so pretty. I'm telling you, if you happen to at any point in the near future be near an Ulta store, pop into that Ulta, walk over to the perfume section, and smell this fragrance. Also smell the Maud Vanilla, because I own that one as well. And I think honestly, they pair really well together. If you want to tone down a little bit of the rose and magnolia in this one, just spray that Maud Vanilla over top, and you are going to get the most amazing fragrance experience. Those two definitely belong together, just like the Elizabeth and James Nirvana White and Black belong together back in the day. I think you almost need the Maud Vanilla, but if you're looking for a really beautiful, very youthful, very just pretty, almost like just frilly, girly floral, you gotta check this one out. I'm telling you, I love this one. Stella loves this one. In fact, I can see that Stella has been borrowing this one because I am a lot further along in this than I probably should be. But anyway, let's go ahead and read through the fragrance notes here. So Maud Blush is comprised of raspberry, passion fruit, pink pepper, bergamot, rose, pear, magnolia, musk, ambroxan, dreamwood, and sandalwood. Now, I actually did not know what dreamwood was, so I had to go look it up again. I didn't remember from when I initially shared my first thoughts regarding this scent. So this is actually a synthetic fragrance molecule, and it is meant to mimic the Maison sandalwood tree. So it's supposed to replicate the same woodiness, creaminess, and warmth as the Maison sandalwood. So yeah, I would definitely say that this one is very youthful, very sweet. If you do not like sweetness with your florals, I think this one might be a little bit of a turnoff for you. But for me, like I said, this is just very youthful. It's just a very happy fragrance. The rose and the magnolia are in here in, I would say, equal parts. So the rose doesn't overpower the magnolia. And I think the musk and the ambroxan in here combined with that dreamwood and sandalwood really adds just a little bit of depth that elevates the florals. This is great, you guys. What a pretty, sophisticated, but also fun floral. I just love this one. I cannot get enough of it. It's another one of those perfumes in my collection where when I finish this one, there's just no way that I would not want to immediately replace it. It's fabulous. Definitely check it out. We have 2 left. This next one, I know that I have mentioned a couple of times already in my weekly home fragrance roundups this year. I just added this to my collection within the last, I think, couple of months. It was definitely in 2025 that I picked this up. This is the Maison Louis Marie number 14 Aelia. And check out, this is all that I have left. And like I said, I just recently purchased this. I have been absolutely dousing myself with this floral. It is such a stunner, you guys. It is one of the ones where the very first time that I actually wore it and I experienced how it kind of mingled with my body chemistry, I just had this instant regret of just not putting the money that I spent on the travel size towards the full size. I kind of knew that I would absolutely love this one, but I did buy it blind. I literally was like, hey, those fragrance notes appeal to me. Let's try it. That is how I landed on this one. And I should have just put the money towards the full size to begin with. This is so beautiful. And if you're looking for a very, again, sophisticated, slightly maybe more mature daytime floral for the spring, check out Aelia. It is a stunner, you guys. So the fragrance notes in this one are ruby pamplemousse, which is grapefruit, mandarin leaf, jasmine, Bulgarian rose, dark plum. I think it's the plum that gets me in here. It adds just a little bit of this interesting, slightly sour tang, and ooh, I love it. Osmanthus, patchouli. Once again, please don't be scared off by this patchouli. It's very pretty, very perfumey. It's a lighter patchouli. It does not smell earthy. You're not gonna smell like a dirty hippie with this fragrance. I'm telling you, this is beautiful and sophisticated, not earthy and dirty smelling. There's also vanilla flower in here as well as sakura blossom. So you're getting a few different floral components, but I think it's really the jasmine and the rose that shine in this one. And then that plum, which comes in with, again, a little bit of sweetness, but also that interesting tanginess. I think it really sets this one apart. And this is one of those scents that just really, it just rocks my world. Again, big old regret on, you know, just starting out with the small guy here. But listen, this has been my policy now for a little while here, is that when I am interested in a new fragrance that, you know, I want for myself, but also something that I want to review here on my channel, I have to, if at all possible, start out with the travel size, because my perfume collection definitely is pretty large, and there's just, it's gonna be hard for me to get through all of these fragrances if I'm constantly purchasing the full sizes first. So there have definitely been some fragrances where I have purchased the smaller size and I finish the travel size, and then, you know, I go ahead and put the larger size on a list to repurchase at some point. And there are some times where there's an example like this one where I will immediately want the full size of this. So luckily, I guess we are getting pretty close to the spring savings event with Sephora where I purchased this, so I can get this on sale at that point. But yeah, it's one where it's not gonna leave my sight. I can tell you that. That's a stunner. The very last fragrance that I want to recommend for this spring is from another dupe brand. So similar to Dossier, Dua, Okja, and Alt. The brand Twist recreates high-end fragrances. This is a fragrance from Twist called Stars Number 17, and this is a dupe for Burberry Her. I really like Burberry Her, but Burberry is not cruelty-free. Twist is. So this is how I have to enjoy Her, because I'm not giving my money to Burberry. If they decide to someday stop testing on animals, absolutely. There are so many Burberry fragrances that I think are just absolutely stunning that I would love to purchase, but until they decide to go cruelty-free, I'm gonna have to refrain. But thankfully, like I said, there's brands like Twists that give me a great alternative. So Burberry Her is, again, another pretty sweet floral. One thing I want to say about the Twist fragrances, because I do have a few of them in my collection, they are an eau de parfum formulation, but I do personally find that they fade a little bit faster on my skin than some of my other eau de parfum formulations. So that being said, I'm still recommending them because you get a ton of product for the price. So even if you do have to reapply, I think they're still worth checking out. So these bottles are 3.4 fluid ounces. And like I said, they're quite affordable for the amount. So anyway, for what it's worth, I definitely wanted to put that out there. I don't want anyone to be disappointed. So just fully be aware that this is one where it just doesn't last quite as long as some of these other fragrances do. But still, I think worth getting. This is a wonderful blender also. So if you have some other fragrances in your collection where you're thinking, I would like to add just a little bit more floral sweetness to this one, this would be fabulous to have on hand for that. And for the price point, I think this is one of the best ones to pick up for that purpose. So again, this is a dupe for Burberry Her, and the notes read candied berry, raspberry, strawberry, violet, and jasmine. So those are your floral components. And then you have amber and musk at the base. There's a healthy amount of amber in here, but somehow it still smells very light, very airy, very sweet. Listen, that candied berry, that raspberry, and that strawberry are going to give you a ton of sweetness in this one. And I think it really works well with both the violet and the jasmine, which I think are naturally slightly sweeter florals in their own right, but amped up with those berry notes that I mentioned. This one is just off the charts sweet. But I love it, man. I love a sweet floral, and this one is just heavenly, you guys. I mean, if you're not cruelty-free, definitely check out the original Burberry Her. I think this is pretty spot on. There's a couple of nuances where I think that maybe the original Burberry Her isn't quite as sweet as this one, but it is pretty sweet on its own. I just think this one appeals to me maybe even a little bit more because of the added sweetness that this one has. So, like I said, I think it's great on its own. It's one of those where, you know, you can just kind of spray it on your clothing, you know, obviously spray it on your pulse points. Make sure you moisturize your skin first. That's how you're gonna get a little bit further with this one in terms of wearing it on your skin. But I find that on my clothing, it actually lasts quite a while. So this is actually, now that I paired them together, this Woody Freesia and the Burberry Her, these are really good together. I don't think I've ever paired these. But man, I think I just discovered a fabulous combination here. So listen, if you have them both, you should wear them together. I think I'm gonna do that again. That was delightful. Anyway, you guys, those are my top 6 fragrance suggestions for the upcoming spring season. Like I said, I think these will also kind of feed in really well to the summer as well. Although I definitely will have some really great fruity suggestions for you coming up for this summer season as well. So let me know what your favorite springtime perfumes are in the comments down below. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.